Hey guys, in this video we'll find out what's the best team comps for Kirara, and what weapon and artifact set you should put on her, and ultimately, find out if she's worth pulling or not. So, Kirara is an upcoming female Dendro sword user that can deal consistent on-field Dendro damage using the hold version of her elemental skill. When hold, her elemental skill creates a shield that's based on her max HP, and transforms her into a box-shaped neon cat-like thingy that plays very similar to Sayu's elemental skill, where you have to run and crash into enemies to deal damage. During her box mode, she can deal and apply Dendro damage every half a second, and at the end of the duration, she will unleash an AoE Dendro damage, and at the same time, she will reinforce her shield by up to 60% of her original shield strength and have its shield duration reset. She can be in this box mode for as long as 10 seconds with 12 seconds cooldown that starts after the mode ends. You can also end the box mode earlier and get shorter cooldown instead. For the tap version, her elemental skill also creates a shield and deal one-time AoE Dendro damage to the enemies in front of her with 8 seconds cooldown. Her elemental burst deals AoE Dendro damage by smacking the enemies with her special package, causing it to explode into many small pieces that can further explode upon enemy contact or upon expiration. These small things can also be sucked by Kazuha's elemental skill, just like Klee's landmines. As you can see on this chart, when built with full HP, her shield is very good against Dendro damage, but other than that, it's pretty average. So should we build her with full HP? At a glance, we could be thinking that she might be good in a Nilou's team comp, providing a Dendro shield to cover those bloom damage, and applying Dendro at the same time. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. This is because the way she applies Dendro by just running around without doing normal attacks will not trigger Xingqiu or Yelan's burst, and ultimately not producing enough Dendro cores for the team. And since there is no other good off-field Hydro applicator besides Xingqiu and Yelan at the moment, Kirara is not going to be a good Dendro applicator for Nilou's Super Bloom team comp. Well, you can still use Barbara, Kokomi, or Ayato as the off-field Hydro applicator with Kirara, but that's a bit copium to be honest. Without the ability to trigger Xingqiu or Yelan, this also means that Hyper Bloom and Burgeon team comps are out of the window for her too, so that left us with a Quicken team if we ignore burning team comps completely. In a Quicken team, she should be built with full crit DPS instead, to maximize her damage potential. This means her shield will almost be non-existent, with only 5.6k HP damage absorption, meaning a healer is still necessary for her team, especially when she needs to crash into enemies and face tank all the damage the monsters throw at her. And although her passive increases her elemental skill and elemental burst damage for each 1000 of her max HP, the increase is too small to warrant a full HP build, as shown on the next chart. As you can see, Kirara with full HP build deals almost no damage compared to the DPS build. And I don't see a point of building Kirara with full HP for survivability either, because with good healer, she won't need that extra shield power to begin with. Now let me show you Kirara with DPS build supported with Nahida and Baizhu, to see how much damage she can dish out with such strong supports. In a full team scenario, her total average damage now increases to 181k damage per 22 seconds rotation, or about 8.26k DPS, which is pretty good for a 4-star unit at C0, using a 3-star weapon. And if we include a powerful sub-DPS such as Yae Miko to the party, along with Nahida and Baizhu, she could be a literally fun Dendro driver that can deal respectable damage. But of course, if you can save up and pull for Alhaitham in the same patch as her, I believe, the team would become much stronger with Alhaitham as the main DPS instead of Kirara. The difference would be night and day. So I wouldn't recommend you guys to completely throw away your primos just for Kirara. Maybe try to get her at C0, and it should be enough just for having some fun. And if you're wondering how she performs at C6 though, let me show you her damage numbers. At C6, her total average damage increases to 232k damage per 22 seconds rotation, or about 28% increase from C0. At C4, she can apply coordinated Dendro damage off-field, every time the active character that's being protected by her shield do normal, charged, or plunging attacks. But this can only trigger every 3.8 seconds, which I think is only enough for a Quicken team to keep applying the Quicken reaction. At C6, she also buffs the entire party with 12% elemental damage bonus for 15 seconds, after she uses her elemental skill or burst, which is again, great for Quicken team comps, and great for amplifying Nahida and Yae Miko's off-field damage as well. Now let me show you her artifact sets comparison, using the same setup with the Harbinger of Dawn as her weapon, and Nahida and Baizhu as her supports. As you can see, the damage difference between the top 4 artifact sets are very minimal, so you can mix and match depending on what you currently have, and still have good results with her. Now let me show you her weapon DPS comparison chart, using the 2-piece Deepwood set and the 2-piece Gladiator set as the artifact set. As you can see, her best in slot weapon is the Primordial Jade Cutter, which is a no surprise, since it is the best sword for a main DPS in general. For free-to-play players like me and many of you, we should stick with the Harbinger of Dawn at Refinement Rank 5, and make sure to have a decent healer to maintain Kirara's health at above 90%. So in conclusion, Kirara is a 4-star spread-oriented main DPS that can serve you well, only if you don't have the 5-star version yet, which is currently Alhaitham. But if you already have or plan on pulling for Alhaitham, which is rumored to be in the same patch as Kirara, you should not worry about getting Kirara at all, because Alhaitham's damage is much more stronger than Kirara, and he can fit in many other team comps such as Hyperbloom, Burgeon, and Superbloom team comps. As for myself, I will try to get only 1 copy of her, just to have fun with her unique playstyle. Well, I think that's it guys for my Kirara video. Changes might happen in the future, so be sure to check out the pinned comment. I will update it there if there are major updates on Kirara's skill set. Also, don't forget to subscribe and thank you so much for watching.